All right, so today's call is going to be about how to close sales like a boss. I'm pretty much going to going and sorry for the chickens. I apologize in advance, but I'm pretty much going to be going through my exact strategies that I use from like start to finish, from when I first run across the clients, like the way I shuffle them in, the process I walked them through, all the way up to getting the money. And right now, I'm assuming that some of you may actually have some hangups. Like probably even looking at this picture, it seems like this guy is like a jerk. Like really, like this dude is burning $100 bill to light his cigar. And what I found is that a lot of times we don't think that certain limiting beliefs about money affect our business, but it does. Some of the limiting beliefs that I had in the past was like a lot of things about conservation. Like you ever been riding around and when you're a kid, or I don't know how far back if people where air conditioners were common, but if we rode around with like the air conditioner on and you roll down the window, everybody's like, roll up those windows, we have the air conditioner on, you're wasting gas or you're wasting money. Or if you open the door and the air is on, you want to shed it so you're not wasting any money. Or it's like this whole idea of I have to skip out on extra coffee this week from Starbucks because I'm trying to like scrape pennies together to save up, and like that whole mindset comes out of scarcity, and breaking free of that, you kind of realize like instead of thinking from a scarcity standpoint, like, oh, I have to sacrifice my finances in order to save up to do this and not enjoy life. The flip side to break into an abundance mindset is thinking, okay, I see this nice thing I want over there. Why can't I have that? Like you can have that. The thing is, the way wealthy people, the way the 1%, the 5%, the 1% of people think, they don't think like how can I budget this and budget. They think, okay, how can I increase my income so I can have that yacht, or I can have that designer bag, or that whatever it is. They don't think in like, I need to sacrifice my happiness and the nicer things in life in order to be able to retire and have things 1,000 years later. They think, what can I do right now to increase my income, to increase my revenue? And this was one thing that I really struggled with when I wasn't making sales. I was projecting my money beliefs onto people, thinking like, just because I felt uncomfortable spending thousands of dollars, or $1,000, $5,000 or whatever on a product, that this person is also feeling the same way. So I was like afraid to sell them. When it came time to say, this is the price, this is how much something costs, it was uneasy. I kind of like reveal it to them with like an excuse. Like, well, how much is it? Well, I mean, it's kind of like this, it's not cheap, and it's really good. So it has all of this and all of this. And I prop up the price just because it came from an insecurity within myself that somebody would give me that much money for something. Even though I paid them money and all the different things, it was just these broken, limiting self-beliefs. So this is one of the things that I would challenge you to work on in parallel to the actual step-by-step things I'm going to be teaching you, is breaking out of that limited money mindset, because we end up projecting those things out, and it does affect the way we go about it. It affects our confidence. It affects the way we do things when we are making sales. If you come from a place of abundance, like there's an infinite supply of money out there. There's always more, and you can get it. It's available to you. It's not locked up. It's not behind some secret formula. It's like, it's there for your taking. But let me go ahead. All right. So one of the first things I want to point out that I see a lot of people get wrong, and I was getting wrong in the beginning, was seeing the types of traffic that are out there. I'm going to briefly go over this. So there's cold traffic, warm traffic, and there's hot traffic. Cold traffic is people that you just met. You just friended them. You just met them in a group. They just popped on your email list. They just subscribed to your YouTube channel. These people don't know you. They're suspicious of you. They've been burnt by people in the past. They don't know if you're full of crap or what. They haven't figured you out yet. And these are the hardest people to sell to. These are the hardest people to sell to. Our warm crowd has been people that have been digesting your content. They've had conversations with you. They're in your group. They've been watching your live videos. They've been watching your YouTube videos. They've been getting your emails. You've been talking back and forth with them. They're warmed up to the fact that maybe you're a good person. Maybe you promote things that are worthwhile. They're like, I'm open to what it is that you're about. I'm open to hearing you out. I'm open to having a conversation with you. But they haven't yet bought anything from you. That's what makes them warm. A lot of people mix up warm and hot. Hot means they've spent money with you. Once they're hot, these people, the hot, are infinitely more easy to sell to. Once somebody has spent money with you, it's kind of like the saying of a buyer is a buyer is a buyer is a buyer. So your goal is to take people with your content on Facebook. When the point of your post, let's say you post on your profile, you post in your group, you do your live videos. The only point of that doesn't make you money. A lot of people get confused with that. They're like, I'm not making any money, but I'm posting every day. I'm posting 3 times a day. I'm going live and still nothing. It's because the point of your content is not to make money. The point of your content is to take people from cold to warm. So when you get them into conversations, they're already on the tipping point to shift them over into hot, which means they buy or they bought from you now. So you don't really want to sell directly to cold. You can make sales there. I make sales there, but it is really, really hard. So you want to immediately, when you meet people, close them mainly into your group, so that you can further relationship, get them warm, into a conversation. And then once you've warmed them up, you walk them through this script that I'm going to be covering with you and get them to buy, and they become your hot buyers. And you can continue to sell to them a lot, like, I don't want to say with ease, but essentially with ease. So one of the main things that we have to remember is that people buy on emotion, and they buy transformations. Nobody really cares what you're selling. Nobody actually really wants secret affiliate marketing hacks. You probably, when you bought it, you didn't really want it. If somebody would be like, if you didn't know what it was, or even if you kind of heard about it, somebody was like, hey, I have a secret affiliate marketing hacks right here. It's $1,000, give it to me. You'd be like, I don't want that. It's like, but if you went on this journey and you had a thing that you desired, you had something, a transformation you wanted to happen, you wanted to be able to make enough money to quit your job and become this ideal person, that's what causes you to buy. You buy off of those emotions, you buy the transformation, you buy the end result. So you want to be taking people from your content into your conversation, into buying, and realizing that is something that's going to knock down limiting beliefs. If I use this picture here of the Wizard of Oz. So I don't know, there's a few different cultures in here. So if you don't know what the Wizard of Oz is, it's a story. Essentially this girl here on the middle right, she's ultimately in a dream. And what she encounters in this dream is these different figures. There's a cowardly lion. There's a scarecrow. He lacks courage. And there's a tin man who lacks a heart. And they were all in search of something. And each one was in search of something different. And they set on this journey, and they were going to see the wizard, because they felt like the wizard was the one that could give them the thing that they ultimately desired in life. They wanted a transformation. The cowardly lion wanted to be brave because he's a lion and he was afraid of everything. And she started meeting these people along the way. So as you're going out into Facebook, into YouTube, and these different groups, I want you to, if you're familiar with the story, I want you to imagine yourself as I believe her name's Dorothy, as Dorothy, and you're meeting these characters along the way, and you're going to start to pick out these different character types as you talk to people. The more and more people that you talk to, you'll realize that they fall into these character frames. Some people are crippled by fear. Some people are afraid to invest or take risks. Some people are afraid that they're not going to succeed. Some people, like they have these different things that are holding them back. And each person's going to be desiring something else. And the wizard is not necessarily a specific product. Think of the wizard as like everyone is going to look for the person or the thing that can get them what they've really always wanted. The Tin Man always wanted a heart. He wanted to be able to feel love. He wanted to be able to feel emotions. and that's what he was out searching for. Some people are looking for community. You know, some people will buy your products just because they want to feel like they belong to a tribe of something. They want to feel like they're a part of something bigger than themselves. And like, you have to kind of, that's why it's important to understand the person, spend time actually building a relationship with them, so you understand which character they are, what they really are looking for the wizard. Why are they out on this journey looking to start affiliate marketing, looking to start an online business, a Shopify store, a drop shipping, or whatever it is they're looking for. You're running across them as Dorothy, and you're going, oh, hi, you must be a cowardly lion. You're afraid to invest, or you're afraid to take the risk and step out and put yourself out there in front of people that you don't know, or you're afraid of this or that. So you start to understand and see these people, and you want to take them on their journey of transformation. That's what it's all about. Okay, then my slides are going slow. Hold on one second. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, we could hear you.
Okay, awesome. I don't know what in the world. I guess I might have to refresh this. Yeah, we'll have to do it manually. So you can also think of this journey, since we're taking them on a journey. Along the journey, you're going to notice everyone. It's almost like, you ever heard of the old story? Can someone message Mo and kind of like give her the link, or tell her where to find the link to get into this coaching call? She's apparently trying to find the way in here. Yeah, she doesn't want to miss the Zoom.
I'm in here.
Oh, you're here now?
I got me from the beginning. I'm sorry.
Oh, wait, this is Mo?
Oh, no, you said Melissa. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I'm looking for Mo. If anybody knows Mo, anybody knows Mo? Maybe we can invite her, but okay. So you'll notice, you ever heard of the story from, like, what is it? Harriet Tubman and the Underground Railroad. So pretty much Harriet Tubman went and, she freed herself from her masters, her plantation. She ran away, but she kept coming back, getting more people, taking them on this journey. And the way that she had like milestones, like different slave houses, different rivers and woods and different things she'd always pass along the way, along this Underground Railroad, this network of things. And she'd know where she was on the journey by the places that she stopped for rest and for refueling and all these different things. The same way as you're walking someone from their problem and their, them being lost and starting, all the way to actually purchasing and getting whatever thing that you're selling, because this works more than just selling secret affiliate marketing hacks. You can literally sell anything. Once you learn this skill, you will never be broke again. You will be able to write your own paychecks. You'll be able to make money from here on out, whether you're selling your own thing, your own course, you're selling, shoes, cars, you're speaking engagements, or whatever the case may be. You're walking them along this journey, and they're the same points, the same milestones that you're going to see on the way there. You're going to see, all right, you're going to shift into their pain. You're going to go find out their dreams. You're going to find their fears and pleasures. All of these things, not only are you going to pass, but they must be touched. Like, if you're on the right journey, you're going to touch each and one of these in order. If you go out of order, or if you miss any one of those, you can consider yourself off the path and you're lost. You're not going to make it to your destination. So if you were supposed to go around the bend, there's a red barn on the left-hand side, and you go around to the old oak tree that's split in the middle and missing half of its leaves, then you go left, you're going to find that path every single time. Now, the walk there may be different. The person you're walking with, the time of day, the setting, it may be raining on that journey, but the ultimate main milestones you go through will always be the same. And you'll notice if you miss any of them, you don't ever make it to the destination, which is getting them to actually make the transformation and commit and invest in themselves. And those I'm going to go over. So a lot of times we forget that we are literally pretty much like hunters. or fishermen, however you want to look at it. And if you were to go out and let's say you were looking to catch a bass or a catfish or shrimp or whatever it is, they all take a specific type of bait. You can't really use the same kind of bait you'd use for this type of fish as that type of fish. You have to specifically put what they're attracted to. So with the secret affiliate marketing hacks, which I believe pretty much every one of you on this call are promoting, that minus maybe one if Andre's on the call. I think he may be selling something different. But you're laying things out there that you know that these characters are looking for. These are the different types of people that fall under your genre. They are looking for certain things. And what you want to do is actually understand your animal. If you were hunting a fox, you would kind of understand the tracking patterns, the mating patterns. When do they mate? When are they going to come out? When do they see them in the woods? When do you have all these different things? So you literally, any good hunter would study the prey that they're hunting. Any good fisherman would understand the fish that they're doing. And most people skip this when it comes to marketing. You need to understand the animal that you're hunting. You need to understand the human psychology and what makes people take the bait, what makes people bite the hook. Because if you don't put the right bait in front of them, you don't have the right, reeling technique and when to pull, when to release, when to give away, you're not going to catch it. And that's going to come with, number one, constantly beating on your craft and learning more and getting out there and actually practicing, casting your line over and over and over. Even when you pull back and there's no fish, cast it again. Even when you go out hunting, you sit in that stand all day looking for that deer, you track them, you looked at the poop, you did all these different things, and you come back out the next day, but you're going to find one. You just keep practicing, keep going. And ultimately, those destinations, they come in 5 steps. And those steps are, number one, build rapport. And if you don't know what rapport is, I know some of you guys, English may be your second language. It's pretty much you're building up what's called like the know, like, and trust factor. That's the first thing that you want to do, because this allows people to go from that cold state to the warm state. You sell people from warm. Rarely will anybody ever buy from you like cold. Like, I don't know about you, but here's $1,000. Most people are like, I don't know about you, but I'm willing to listen to you. And then they listen to you for a while and they're like, okay, you're pretty decent. And then now they're warm, and then you can shift them into hot. Sometimes this can happen in the course of 30 minutes. Sometimes it can happen in the course of a day. Sometimes it happens in the course of a week, month or several months or even a year. So you kind of have to play that by ear. Each person walks through the journey at different speeds, and they're in different places in their life, but the journey and the path is always still the same. The next step would be defining their current state. This would be finding out what they're all about. Do they have a job? What kind of job are they doing? How much do they make? Do they like their job? How many hours do they spend working that job? Do they have a business? What type of business do they have? How long have they been doing? How much money do they make? Are they advanced? Are they intermediate? Are they a beginner? You want to completely understand understand the animal you're hunting, understand the person that you're talking with. And what you want to do is come from, I know most of you guys have heard this, is come from a doctor frame. I mean, by doctor frame, this is what I mean. Whenever you get onto a call or in a conversation with someone, you're not there with a preconceived notion like I'm going to prescribe this medicine or I'm going to have them buy this exact thing. What you're going into it is to find out which character am I talking to? What do they have really going on? Is it a cowardly lion? Is this a tin man? Is this a scarecrow? Does this person want to be a part of a community? Does he need like mentorship, like somebody to feel like they're holding their hand? Or this person just needs some confidence, like somebody to like push them out of their comfort zone and let them know that they can do it? Or what are this person looking for? So this is all a part of defining the current state, understanding that animal, that human, that person that's right in front of you. And you're not doing it with the preconceived notion like I'm going to prescribe them this, because some people, the course is not actually a good fit. I had this problem, and I still sometimes have to battle with it. with trying to sell every single person that I talk to. Every single person that I run across is like, you get the course and you get the course and you get the course and you get the course. But some people, it's just like, it's not a good fit for them. And that's just the way it is. So your job is literally to help people. So what I'm teaching you right now is very, very effective, especially once you have practiced it and gotten really good at it. It's something that if you don't use ethically, you can literally like ruin people's lives, because what you're dealing with is like some deep-rooted psychological things that when you hit all these points correctly and you actually do this, people will climb over glass. They'll sell all their belongings. They'll like they'll pretty much do whatever it takes to be able to get what it is that you're offering, because you've activated all these points. That's why this should be used with caution, and this should be done ethically. Like if you can't truly help this person, like if the course or the thing you're selling can't truly help the person, they're really not a good fit for it, don't sell it to them. Don't sell it to them, because literally this thing is that powerful. It may not seem like it, but you can literally have people doing things that like it's not a good fit for them and they never would have did it any otherwise. But the fact that you hit all these things, it made them do it regardless. And I just wanted to make sure I threw that out there. And the next thing you want to do, like a doctor, you would diagnose the pain. And so you find out where it hurts, because if there's no pain, there's no sale. If a person doesn't have a problem, you're not going to get any money from them. You only make money by solving problems in the marketplace. And that's with any business, not just the one we're running. So you want to find out what that pain is. You want to future pace them. You want to find out what they really want. What, where are these people heading? I want a heart. I want to belong to something. I want a mentor. I want to be able to make $10,000 a month. I want to be able to make $5,000 a month. I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to quit my job. What is it that they really want? What's their dream life? And then you want to future pace them, getting to think about what it is. And then that's when you would, separate those two and position your offer as the vehicle to get them there. Your offer is the yellow brick road, essentially. Their dream is the wizard, and your offer or whatever it is that you're selling is the road that leads them to the thing and the place or the thing they think they're going to help them. So we'll go through each one individually. So building rapport. Let me just make sure you guys still can hear me. Okay. All right. So building rapport. That was our first step. And when I first started, and I don't know if some of you guys are maybe kind of going through this as well, but I was really heavy-handed. And sometimes I can still be a little heavy-handed. So it's kind of like when you first meet people, it's kind of like, hey, how you doing? So tell me all about your business. How much are you making right now? How much? And it's like this over-aggressive like handshake, but it's a virtual handshake. It's like you have to put yourself in their shoes. If you don't take the time to actually let them feel like this is a normal human reaction, because remember, this is what we're hunting. We're hunting humans. These aren't just numbers. These aren't just names on a list or in your friends list or on a page or whatever. These are human beings with real problems, real kids, real jobs that they hate, real goals and dreams and ambitions. And you want to first put them at ease. You want to first actually get to know them, find out what they're about, let them feel that you genuinely care. And what's going to happen is people are going to open up to you more. And one thing I wanted to point out, I had a few of you, and not only just in this coaching group, reach out to me and say like, Ty, I've been getting a lot of like, how much money do you make? How much have you made with this? Can you show me screenshots? And a lot of things like that. And it comes from this. It comes from leading with this heavy hand, where it's like, hey, pretty much like, you want to make $1 million, you want to make $100,000, get this 5-step system for my mentor that's going to make you X amount of money. And it puts people back on their heels. And the natural thing is, if you lead with money, you lead with this aggressive type thing, the natural thing, because people have been scammed, people are very hesitant online now. The next thing you're going to ask you is like, well, how much have you made? Like, show me that you aren't full of crap. Because you know how many times I hear this in a day, and most people out there are full of crap. So it's kind of like, you want to spend not so much time, but you definitely want to make sure you got this part right. This is the first step. This is the gate. This is the doorway of your journey, your sales journey. And a good way to do this is by, number one, when you meet people, what I do, let me see if I can shift over. So let's say we come here, and let's say I saw this girl here, LaShawn. She's like, I'm just gonna sit this here. So I'm literally gonna look, and it's like, okay, she's posting selfies of herself. I'll probably comment on her picture, like, wow, really nice picture, because obviously, nothing bad about her, but obviously she's looking for, like, you can tell it's a human. She's looking for attention. I mean, people post selfies. Why? Because they want someone to be like, nice picture, or appreciate them or something. So guess what you can do? Instant rapport, and wow, beautiful picture. I love your dress. Wow, your hair is so curly. Who did that? And you could literally either comment that in their comments, send them a message, and guess what you've just done? You've started you've started it, the first step already, just with something that simple, and it wasn't an overbearing squishing of their hand where you went to her profile and was like, hey, how are you doing? What kind of business do you have? Because I mean, if you stop and think about that, that's very like aggressive. It's very uh, almost like offensive, you know. So if you jump straight into the person's inbox doing that, you're going to turn them completely off. But if you come in there like a human, like a friend, like you're really just trying to get to know them, take a little second, look down at what they're posting, see what kind of person this is, find, you know, maybe even interact a few times, like heart a couple of their stuff, comment, you leave some meaningful comments, and then hit their inbox and say, hey, I was looking at your profile, and you know, I saw that you're into whatever. Let's say it was like divine products and natural healing hair care. Oh, I saw you're really into hair care. That's pretty cool. My sister really gets into natural hair. You know, and already you have an icebreaker, you have something in common, and then you're going to start building up the know, like, and trust. Now I'm going to give you something, one other tip or thing that you can do, and this is a little bit more advanced, so don't let it confuse you, and this is not something you need to start right away. But a good thing that I use when I have been converting this cold traffic, people that don't know, like, and trust me yet, and I immediately have them on the phones, and I want to sell them in like 30 minutes or an hour. Like, I need to go ahead and get this sale done. I need to go ahead and get this know, like, and trust. There's a little thing about humans that the way we see the world kind of falls into a few categories. And that's kinesthetic. That means like they experience the world mainly through their body, through touch, through how things feel, vibrations and sensations. Or you have people that are visual. They experience the world visually. They like, oh, I can see what you're saying. I see where you're coming with that. You start hearing people use terms like that. Or they're auditory. Oh, that rings a bell. That you'll hear people use certain types of phrases that'll cue you off to what type of person they are, either kinesthetic, visual, auditory, or some people are olfactory, mean like taste. Like they kind of experience the world through that. But I think they're a very small percentage of those people. And what you can do to build instant rapport with these people is when you're back and forth in Messenger or you're back and forth in a conversation on the phone, listen for these key phrases that they're starting to use. Like, oh, that, and when you're talking to them, it's like, oh yeah, that was weighing on my shoulder so heavy. And then, okay, they said that, and then later they go, that really put me back on my heels. So you start hearing like, oh, this person is expressing themselves through their body in their language. So most likely this person experiences the world a little more heavily weighted on the kinesthetic side. So what you can start to do is shift the phrases that you use to match their, I don't want to say like love language, or you could say like their sales language. So when you're starting to talk to them, instead of saying, so where do you see yourself in 5 years or in a year of working with this program, when they're telling you, they literally keep saying these body type based things, you start shifting over and say, so what's pushing you to start this business? You see how that's a difference? You're speaking the same language as them. Or if someone is saying, that rings a bell, that sounds familiar, that, you know, that's coming crystal clear, or whatever it is, or that resonates with me. You can start to shift over, and even using some of the keywords and the phrases or common phrases they use back. And they won't realize it as long as you don't be excessive with it, but it gives instant rapport with them. They automatically feel like, oh, you're like me. We see the world the same, because they, you know, it's like an instant thing. But that's something that, don't let it confuse you. You know, if you're just starting and you're just getting with this, to stick to the basics of what I'm teaching you here. But that's something a little bit more advanced if you are walking into cold traffic, and it also works, you know, beautifully for warm traffic as well. So then once you've built the rapport, you've kind of built up a bit of a know, like, and trust. This person is open to you. Now you can shift into asking questions about where they are currently in their business. So then you would kind of do something like, okay, so I kind of maybe I would look for something that's kind of keying me off to, like, maybe this person is interested in business or something like that. Or I can ask them like, hey, I was looking at your profile and I I don't know where you're from, but I saw that you have this thing that says like Vital Life, total life changes. Is that like an online business? Or are you in the online business or something? And that sparks you, that's a transition now into this step two. Because now what they're going to do is go, oh yeah, I sell CBD products, or I sell hair care products, or I sell whatever it is, or I sell lashes, or whatever the case may be. And it's like, oh, okay, how long have you been doing that? And what you want to do is, like I said, you want to fully define, you want to get a good map of who they are, what they have going on, what's the story they're telling themselves about business, about their life, and a lot about these things. And one thing I want to stress is that while you're talking to people, the fact that most people are really deprived of human interaction. Like they could have tons of people in their life, they can have tons of people around them, but people aren't really actually taking the time to listen to them and understand them. And just by you doing that, you're going to open up sometimes Pandora's box. People will open up and share things with you that they wouldn't even share with their spouse or their best friend. You'll have people telling you like, so and so, my husband or my wife is cheating on me, and I'm so upset. I really want to start a business so I can get myself together, get my finances together, and leave their sorry behind once and for all. They start opening up about all these things. And the biggest thing I can tell you is, when you're in these conversations, no matter how much you don't agree with it, even if it's like religious means, if they're telling you like, oh, well, they're a homosexual and you're against homosexuality, or they're telling you they're a Christian or they're a Muslim and you hate that, like, you have to suspend all judgment and just seek to understand a person without casting those judgments, without making them feel judged. Because if you do, you automatically lose. They're going to go into defensive. They don't want anything else to do with you the second that they feel judged, or the second they feel like you are looking down on them. So you want to just get an honest, objective picture, roadmap of where they are right now, the story they're telling themselves in their head. Once you understand the conversation in their head and the life that they think they're walking down, and where they're at and where they think they're getting stuck, you set yourself up for later on in the conversation. So the next thing you want to do, once you've got a good picture of where they currently are in their business, like a doctor, you want to diagnose the actual pain. Now you want to shift in to find out, where does it hurt. Now, a lot of people fail here, and this is one of, like, I guarantee you, this is, if not the most important step, it's got to be like right up there with like the top two. And a lot of people skip over this because they have like good hearts. They want to rescue. Like, most of us are helping people in this business, and we want to rescue people from pain. I don't want them to be in pain, but I'm telling you, if you don't find out their pain, and not only find out their pain, but find the pain and then push the knife in a little bit deeper and twist it and let them sit in it. If it sounds terrible, but you can't help them. You can't actually get the sale if you don't allow them to sit in their pain. Like, because later on, when you do, let's say you introduce the price, or they go and they see the price, if you haven't properly done this step, if you haven't properly allowed them, and I'm going to explain how to allow them to feel the pain and sit in that pain and really like define it and have a full concept of it in their mind. When they find out they're going to be spending $1,000 or $5,000 or whatever the case may be, if the pain hasn't been clearly defined enough, they haven't felt it enough, they're not going to spend money. They're going to say, well, this doesn't hurt bad enough for, it doesn't. They hold $1,000. It holds like a significant value in their mind, and their pain, how much they want to get out of pain, they equate it to dollar amounts in their mind. So if they're the pain, which they're probably, most people are blinding themselves to how much pain they're actually in, how bad of a situation they're actually in. And if you don't cause that to come into their conscious mind and let them sit in it and really see it, when you introduce the price, they're not going to be willing to pay it. But if you allow them to see like how really bad off they are, how much of a true life emergency this is, how much money they're losing, how this is affecting their life, their marriage, their kids, their, all these different things, because if they feel that way, they'll climb over glass to get out of that situation. And now, how do you introduce the pain? And that's going to be, you can't do this by trying to tell them their pain. If you inflict the pain on them, they're going to go on the defense and it's not going to work. But if you use the weapon of questions and open-ended questions to allow them to self-inflict pain, that's what's going to work. And you do this by, like I said, open-ended questions. So you told me that you're let's say, for an example, she was like, yeah, I was selling this thing and yada, yada, yada. And it's like, well, how's that been going for you? Well, not too good. I've been trying to get out there and get leads, but it's really hard. I've been talking to a lot of people. I only made like a few sales. And, so you kind of start to ask questions like, well, what have you been doing that's not working? And, and you just keep asking more and more. And as they keep developing, you're like, well, so you've been doing this for, 4 months, and have you bought any courses? Like, yes, I spent this much a month on this thing. And, you keep digging. It's like, well, what other areas of your life do you feel like this is affecting? So what you're doing is as you're asking these questions, it's kind of like, you ever heard where it's like someone says, don't think about a purple elephant. I can guarantee you right now, if you're listening to me, the second I said, don't think about a purple elephant, guess what you thought about? A purple elephant. This is the same thing you want to do when you want them to create the concept of what's their pain, is by asking those questions. Because the second that you ask it, you bring up those things, it forces their mind to bring it up out of their subconscious mind into their conscious mind. And all you're doing is asking more and more questions to find more and more pain. Because most people, when they show up and they're in these situations, they don't even truly understand their situation. Most people start out and everything's a jumbled mess. Their business of like what they're doing, the fact that they're not making sales, or the fact that they're doing this and it's not working, and the fact that they want to make $1 million or $1,000 or whatever, and then pizza and TV and the mom and school and kids, all that stuff is one jumbled mess in their mind. And if a confused mind always says no. I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard that. It's like the number one rule in marketing. A confused mind always says no. So what's working behind these steps is you're actually organizing the things in their mind for them. You're organizing their business. You're asking all these questions. So what's bringing up in their conscious mind is the structure of their actual business, the current state of their life. And then you're finding out what's actually wrong, what's hurting them, where they're suffering in. And they're making clearly defined states in their mind that wasn't there before. It was a big jumbled mess. You can think of it like, I like to think of it as like every person I meet is like a puzzle. And I'm putting together the puzzle. And then once I put the last piece in place, that's when I get paid. Or I can think of it as like it's a ball of yarn. It's all knotted up. And what I'm doing is unknotting it. And once I get it all unknotted and organized and stretched out, then I get paid. So, and if I skip any steps, I leave any things, and there's a knot that I can't get undone, I skipped over, I don't get paid because they're not going to buy. I missed a spot. The puzzle's not complete. There's a missing piece. Guess what's going to happen at the end of the call? They're going to say, well, I don't know, because you missed a piece. You didn't take the time to walk through each one of these steps so that, it's clear for them. A lot of people, I was talking to someone on a coaching call, and they brought this up, and it's very true. We're kind of walking through the sales script, and they saw where they had went wrong. They said, you know what? I skipped through the pain part when I asked people what's going wrong with their business. They give like a quick answer. Then I immediately move to the future phase. I immediately go, well, what's your goals? And I don't like to sit in the pain because like I felt like maybe I already understood what they're going through. But the thing is, it's not for you. It's not truly for you. You're asking all these questions, and you're defining all these different things that's going on for them so that they understand their situation. They understand the severity of what is hurting them in their business, how much money they're losing, how much it's costing them to not take action. And then when you get into the other steps, they're clearly defining their goals, because most people don't even actually sit down and actually think about like, what is it I actually want specifically? And it's impossible to sell someone that doesn't even know what they want. They don't even really know what's wrong. They don't even understand their business. And then you want them to give you $1,000 to fix something. They're like, well, I don't know what needs fixing. I don't even understand myself or my business. You don't get the money that way. So you have to dig into this pain. You have to keep asking open-ended questions. What other areas of your life do you think this is affecting? Oh, so yeah, you told me that you were working, pretty much like 60 hours a week at your job. And then you're trying to do this on this business on the side, you said, and it's not really making that much money. That's got to be really, stressful. Like, what other areas of your life is this affecting? Well, I don't get enough time with my kids. I haven't really had much time with my wife because, I've been just working so much and then trying this business. And so what you're doing is you're digging even more pain. The more pain you can conjure up in the more areas of their life, the better. And one thing I definitely want to point out is, do not rescue them from the pain. Do not say things such as, oh, that's okay, because I can definitely help you with that. The second that you do anything like that, you've completely destroyed this. You've rescued them out of this, and they no longer feel the pain. And when you come time to sell them and give them your offer as the relief from the pain, they're not going to buy, because subconsciously you've already relieved them of it simply by going, there's a solution for this. The pressure comes off of them. What you want to do is build that pressure, keep adding it, keep asking, so that they feel more and more of it. It becomes even more defined, like this island of pain that they're standing on. And as soon as you feel like you've gotten the pain correctly, now you want to go to the future. I don't know if you guys remember this movie from like the 80s. Some of you might be too young for it. Some of you definitely know what I'm talking about. So you're finding out their ideal life, like what they would want things to be like. This is the time where now you're using those open-ended questions, that whole don't think of a pink elephant, instead of using it to conjure up all the negative stuff to clearly define their negative state. Now you're using it to clearly define their positive state. How much money? So what is it that you truly are looking to accomplish with your online business or with affiliate marketing or whatever it is? And they're going to be, oh, well, I mainly just want to like quit my job. And you just keep going deeper, asking more and more questions. Well, how you definitely want to find out a dollar amount. How much so you told me that you wanted to be able to quit your job. You told me you wanted to be able to move your parents, into a bigger place and retire your dad. You told me that you wanted to travel to the Bahamas, once a year to visit cousin so-and-so. You told me all these different things. How much do you think it would cost you per month to fund that lifestyle you just told me about? And they're going to be like, oh, well, it's going to be, I don't know, I guess like, a few $1,000s. And it's like, well, if you had to put it, like, you really want a specific amount. Because like I said, this isn't for you. This is for them. They need to get specific on their goals. And without them having a clearly defined future or a dream state or ideal state, you're not going to get the sale. You have to create these milestones, this real estate in their mind, separate out these knots, fill in these puzzle pieces, however you want to see it, whatever works best for you, so that later all these things are organized, and once you deliver your offer, they're going to take it, because it makes sense. Their emotions are in it. You've created the journey. This is the journey. These are the milestones that you're crossing. So your future pacing, and you're finding out, so you said it was going to be $10,000 a month to fuel all of that, and then you'd be able to quit your job. What would that do for your business? Oh, I'd be able to like hire VAs, and then I would be able to like spend more time at home. It's like, you keep asking open questions. What other areas of your life do you feel that would affect? So you're sending those probes out in their mind. Like, don't think of the pink elephant. That's essentially the same thing. You're asking all these questions so they think of more and more amazing things they would like their life to look like. And don't just accept the first answer and then move on. You want to spend time here to clearly define it. Because like I said, most people don't actually take the time to do this. Their mind is a jumbled mess of everything, and they're just like, I don't know what to do. I'm overwhelmed and confused. They're overwhelmed because they don't understand where they are and where they're trying to go. So you want to take your time and fully get that point. And now this is the part where you're actually going to do the selling. So over here on the left, the guy, like, we went from this negative space. We'll imagine like over here on the left, this cliffside is their pain. you already clearly define their pain state. And we'll say this part over here on the right is their future state, their ideal life. How they're making $10,000 a month over here. They're making $100 a month and working 19 hours a day, and they're so stressed out on this one. We imagine that they're together. You created these one after the other. Now, the next thing you want to do is drive them apart. And you want to send them from here where you're having them talk about their dream life, and you want to put them back in their pain and their current situation and then push their dreams away from them. And the way you would do this, and I know it sounds terrible, but you're actually, you ever heard the phrase of like, it's going to hurt before it heals, or it hurts before it gets better? This is the same thing that you're essentially doing. It's like tough love. Ultimately, this is for their better good, because most people, they don't take action on their dreams. Just to be honest, like the best thing you can do to someone to help them is sell them. Sell them something that's actually going to help them solve their problem. Because once people invest money, they're millions of times more likely to actually take the action to change their life. Where if you just came with them that same information, just gave it to them for free, it would have been just like throwing, bread to the dogs, So the way you drive this apart is once you have them in this future pace, they were telling you all these amazing things and imagining their life. And they're like, yeah, that would be awesome. That'd be dope. And then you'd say, all right, well, you told me you wanted to be able to travel to the Bahamas. You wanted to be able to make $10,000 a month. But can you, why do you think it is that you haven't been able to accomplish this on your own? And what you've done, as soon as you ask that question, you've sent them back to their current state, their current reality and their pain. And you've driven this future state that you just helped them create away from here. And it's like, why can't you get here on your own? And the second that they answer that question, they've broken themselves away from their dreams, essentially. So they're in their hell. They're on the island of hell, and they want to go back to this island of heaven that you literally had them imagine, create, and feel the emotions of. And now they know there's a gap here, and they can't get there on their own. Now you can successfully position your offer as the bridge. Or if these were islands, you have a ferry service that goes from the island of pain to the island of pleasure. So now you can successfully position that. And they're like, most people are going to say, so it's like, why haven't you been able to accomplish, this $10,000 a month, being able to spend time with your family, move grandma in a big house on your own? Like, why haven't you just been able to do that yourself? And, they're going to give things such as, well, I don't have a solid plan. A guy told me on a call earlier, he's like, I need a roadmap. Other people will be like, well, I need a mentor, or I need somebody to sit down with me. I wish I had a step-by-step plan, or these are the things that as they're looking over this abyss that you help them create because they want to go to this heaven. And you're like, once you drive it apart and you're like, why can't you get here? There's really nothing there, but the gap is in their mind. The limitation is in their mind, and you're going to help them break it because now you've made them look at it. And they're going to imagine whatever it is that they really think is here. You're taking this limitation and this thing really actually stopping them in their life, and they're going to project it into this gap. And they're going to say, well, for me, this gap is a mentor. For me, this gap is a course. For me, this gap is, a step-by-step plan or a roadmap. And you'll say, okay. Well, I've been listening and taking careful note of like all the things we've been talking about. And I really am 100% confident, Mr. Guy over here staring at the reason why he can't accomplish his goal. And I feel like 100% that I can help you get to where you want to be. Is it okay if I share with you what it is that I can do to help? And 99.9%, I don't think I've ever had a person ever so far tell me like, nah, I want to stay in this place of hell and suffering that we created here, and it's ultimately real. Now they understand it. Like, no, I want to stay here. Nobody wants to stay there. They're going to say, yes, I want to go to this place. So then that's when you position your offer. Well, I actually have some free training from my mentor that does what? If they told you they needed a roadmap, guess what your free training does? I have some free training from my mentor that really gives you a roadmap so that you can understand how to get from where you are right now. You said you're spending all this time at work and you come home and then you don't really know what to do and you're just kind of posting. You don't really have a plan. and it's gonna lay things out so that you understand, you know, the big picture, so that you know how to get to where you want to be. Is that something that you'd be interested in? And most people are gonna say yes. I need that. Thank you, and they're gonna be literally thanking you for selling them. This is why I should have stressed this at the beginning. At no point do you teach anything. You are not going to, even if they're asking questions like, well, how do I do Facebook ads? Or how do I build an email list? You are going to avoid those questions, pretty much like the plague. Find a way to divert it and go back to these steps. Go back to these steps, because if you start teaching, you will lose the sale. Because the second that you give someone some information in their mind, they're like, oh, I didn't know that. And then when you position this offer, they're going to say, well, I don't know. I'm going to try this thing that you just told me first. And, you know, maybe if that doesn't work, then I'll come back for your, you know, your course or your mentorship. But you really you taught me some good information. So I need to try that out first. Or it's going to create that doubt in their mind that maybe I can do this myself if I just tried what you just told me, because that was really amazing. So you do not teach. I don't care how tempted you are. Like literally you could be like, oh my God, I know exactly how to answer that. No, you're just, you're going to sell them the how. And that's just how it is. So then that's when, yeah, you would position your offer here. If it was, I just needed, you know, mentorship. Well, I have a mentor, you know, he's really gave me clarity. You know, a few months ago, I was going through X, Y, and Z. You know, you told me that you were working so many hours. I was doing that, man. I was working construction and like, you know, you know, my back was so tired every day and yada, yada. I came home, I didn't know what to do. And, you know, I found this mentor. He's really gave me clarity. He's really like, you know, changed my life. And I'd love for you to check out this free training that he had. I really think it's going to be beneficial for you. And most people are going to go there. And what you've done throughout this process, this could be on the phone. You can walk through people on chat, in person, anything, using these same steps. And what you've done is you've taken people from cold to warm, and you've gained credibility with them. You've built up the know, like, and trust. And the second that you do that, what you've done is all of that you've built up with this person, you're going to transfer it onto Zach, or you're going to transfer it onto this course, or you're going to transfer it to whatever it is you're selling, so that this person is properly pre-framed to understand the value and the transformation that they're going to gain from this. So when they go into that webinar, they're a lot more likely to buy when Zach pitches them the course. Where if you'd have just been like, hey, how you doing? And they're like, yeah, I'm really struggling in my business. Oh, okay, I got some free training for that. They're probably not going to buy, because they don't understand the value of it, even when Zach pitches it. So this is very important. If you want to actually start making sales, that you study this. If you're not in my one-on-one coaching, I suggest you do. Contact me if not, so we can actually work together with this to kind of get this done. But if not, what I would suggest is partnering up with someone else in this group, setting up where you guys can go through these steps, practicing with each other. Take turns role playing, pretending you're a customer, pretending you're a lead, and walking people through this journey over and over and over until you get comfortable with it, until it becomes natural, until you gain your own style with it, and it just feels like a normal conversation. Because the point of this, by the end of the conversation, it's like selling without selling. The person will end the conversation and they'll tell other people, like, that was an amazing call. I got so much value. That was an amazing conversation. I got so much value. I learned so much from them. And like, they didn't even try to sell me. They're amazing, because most people just try to sell me, but they'll never realize, like, you literally sold them, and you sold them hard. It's just, this process is deadly. That's why I told you to do not misuse this, because you can really ruin people's lives. People will pull money out of their last dollar out of savings. You know, they'll stop treatments to be able to, like, because they want this life. They want this life. So you have to be very ethical and very careful about who you use this on, and really take your time when you are understanding their current state. You know, how much money, what positions are they in? Do they even really, you know, need the course? You know, like, would this harm them more than it would help them? You know, like as a doctor would do. You're not here to do harm, you know, but you help people by selling them. That's our business. That's what we do. And that's how you're going to make your money. So at this point, I open it up to any questions. If you have a question, what I want you to do is, you know, kind of one at a time, unmute your mic, ask your question, And then, once you've asked your question, kind of mute your mic so that when I do start talking, there's not a bunch of feedback and we can't hear each other. So, okay, if I have any questions, go ahead, shoot.
Hey, Tiger, are you going to post this somewhere that we can get a replay for it?
Yeah, so pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and edit this video so that there was a lot of downtime in the beginning of it. So I'm going to cut off all of that space. There's nothing happening. And I'm going to go ahead and get it processed and uploaded. And I'm going to build a funnel and actually send it out in an email to you guys so that you guys can come in there. And I'm going to upload all these future videos and coaching calls to that funnel so that you guys can always go back in there and refer to it again and again. And any other resources or different trainings that even I don't do on the Zoom calls or I don't do in the group on lives, you will still be able to go there and get to those resources. And whether it's like, how do I think it was Bobby that asked how to use Google Chrome, the voice to text. I'll do different things like that. So then, I'll kind of be constantly updating it. So you guys have a ton of resources to make your life and your business easier. And, like I said, I'm constantly investing in myself, learning new things. And as I learn them, if I'm not teaching them in these coaching calls, I'll be, putting together trainings and putting them there in that funnel where you guys can access it. Anybody else have any questions?
I got a question, Tyga. What's going on? It's Ron.
Hey, what's up, Ron? How's it going, man?
Going well. Thanks for all this info, man. It's great stuff. The one question that I have is like I'm going through this process right now with a few people in Messenger, and when do I know that I've prodded the pain enough? Like when do I know, like, okay, like they have a thorough understanding of where they're at and it's time to start future pacing?
See, that's a really hard question because it's different and it's unique for each person I found. Yeah, it's kind of like you kind of start to gain an intuition about it as well. Like a guy I was on the phone with earlier before this call, we went through the pain and we went to the next step. And this person, I guess something I said triggered more pain. So we had to step back a step, and I dug deeper. I'm like, well, let's hear it all out. I think I tapped into something I must have missed. So we sat more in the pain again. And then once I saw like, okay, he's not revealing any new pain, we kind of just talked over and over on that same pain, a few different angles. And I was like, okay, I feel a little bit comfortable. Like, okay, I'm going to probe and start asking him more positive-ended, open-ended questions and seeing if he's done like being, I guess, cathartic and being like, and then, oh yeah, and then 3 years ago, I had a drinking problem and then I tried business then too. I forgot all about that. And it's like, okay, well then let's add that to the heap. Because the bigger you make that pain, the easier it is whenever it's time to say, okay, it's $3,000, it's $5,000. Because it's like, yeah, that's a steal because like my life really sucks. My business I really need the help. And like $5,000, like if all that'll do is like get me out of this crap, it's worth it. You'll start to see that that's how people start responding. Where in your mind, you're like, why would somebody give me $5,000? Like, why would they do that? It's like, it's because of the pain they're in. People will pay to get out of pain faster than they will pay to get to pleasure. Does that answer your question?
Yes, 100%, man. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Anybody else have any questions?
Yes, I do again. Tiger,
Okay.
it's Melissa. So I hear you saying a lot like when you were talking to them. So it sounds like you're talking to them on the phone or through like a message, like a verbal type thing. How do you know when to take them from like messaging in Messenger to actually get into a actual call?
Okay. All right, good. That's a good question. So again, I do it a little bit different depending on the person. Like if I get into a first meet a person, let's say I met them, they friend requested me, I accepted a request. I usually send a voice message, kind of connecting with them. I'll look at their profile really quick. Maybe I'll see something that kind of strikes me and stands out or something, I'll leave a quick voice message like, hey, I just accepted your friend request. It's great to connect with you here in Facebook. I saw that, you're into horses, or what was the other? I met a guy yesterday. He's a firefighter. He has some pretty cool pictures, and I was like, oh man, I saw you're a firefighter. That's got to be pretty exciting, huh? And like immediate rapport, because like people love, especially when they're passionate about their jobs or certain things or hobbies, like they jump into it, and they almost take control of the conversation, like dumping more and more information about themselves. And what that's letting you know is like you're building up the rapport, you're building the know, like, and trust, so that when you move into the pain, because if you don't build up the trust enough in the beginning, that's why if you ever listen, Zach teaches you, instead of sending, when you first meet people, instead of sending them straight to the webinar or trying to sell them, send them to your group first so that you warm them up. Because if you don't spend enough time warming them up, when you do get them to the pain part, some people won't open up to you. When you go, well, how much money are you spending a month on blah, blah, blah? Or how much money are you making a month so far with ClickFunnels affiliate program? And they'll kind of just be like, well, they'll be kind of standoffish, because it's like, I don't know you, man. Like, that's an awkward question for me. But if you've kind of like built up a bit of rapport even before the call, or right in the beginning steps, if you've done things like that, like I told you, especially if you wanted to do that advanced thing where you're kind of like modeling the way they see the world. So if they're talking from visual standpoints, you shift the way you express yourself to visual to meet them. People will open up a lot faster, and that process, or that part of the process, goes a lot quicker. That's a lot of times where I found where I've literally met someone and got into a quick conversation in Messenger, introduced myself, sent them a thank you message. They responded back like pretty much right away or the next day or something like that. And then we kind of went back and forth a little bit. It's like, as soon as I shifted into, oh, I saw that you had a post about, your business or your Facebook group or whatever like that. You do online business. And then I can kind of tell that they're already past the rapport phase, and they're ready to open up to me, because they just unload a ton of information and some pain mixed in. Like, yeah, I did start that, but I'm not making much money, man. Like, I've been posting it. It's like, okay, this person is maybe right for me to actually get on a call, because it won't be a pointless call. If I get them on there and I start asking personal questions, it sounds like they're actually going to answer them. But if they seem a little standoffish, I immediately pivot and go, hey, I'll close them into my group instead of closing them into a phone call or the webinar. So I feel like that'll just be a lot more beneficial for me. Like, it's kind of like gardening. When you go to the plant or go to the bush, some fruit are ripe. Some fruit are almost ripe. Some fruit are like, if you pull this, is a waste. Like, this thing is way underdeveloped. So if you just go picking everything, that's why if you try to sell everyone as soon as you meet them, you're going to get some people that'll buy. You're going to get some people that were on the fence, but then it was like, I picked them too early, and now they don't want anything to do with you. Or you pick them way too early, and they just literally tell you, F off, like, don't talk to me, or they ghost you or something like that. So you kind of have to become like a gardener, like learn how to look at a person, have a few words back and forth, and see how much they open up, see how the conversation is flowing, whether you should go ahead and immediately go, hey, you want to jump on, you want to just talk? We can get on a call, or we can schedule a call. Or go, hey, well, I actually have a Facebook group. You said you're kind of struggling with your business, or you're just kind of looking for information. Like, I kind of, those people are the iffies. Like, it's like, well, what about this? It's like, yeah, I'm just kind of like, just looking for information. Not really, I don't know really yet. So I won't try to sell those people, because that's going to be a really hard sell. All I'll do is go, oh, okay, well, you know what? That's awesome. I definitely understand that. And I actually have a Facebook support group where I actually, help people that are looking to get an affiliate marketing. That's something that you'd be interested in. And most people are like, yeah, because that's exactly what they just said they wanted, is information. So then you push them in there, and then, yeah, eventually you can follow up. You can do Facebook Lives where you actually encourage them to get your free training, or once they join the group, you make a post saying, welcome our new members, and it'll have a link there. And, people will start to join in there, and you just kind of follow up, send out some emails, whatever, and ultimately to get them through those steps. Does that answer your question?
It does, but I have one last question. I won't ask anymore. But,
no, feel free. This is what this is for.
I noticed in your in the training you did, you were saying for your prospect, you do not provide relief, like an answer to something. So what happens if you get into that messenger conversation and you like, okay, from this conversation, that'd be better fit for my Facebook group. So within that Facebook group, you still don't want, so that is it the same there? No like answers to anything or no relief? Like how does that work then? Is it
Uh,
just when you first get them on the call or even in the group?
okay. So when I was referring to do not rescue them, this is when you're going like you're on the hunt, like you're going for the kill. I'm going for the sale. So this applies only to sales conversations. So if you're looking to sell this person, like you're about to walk them through and make, shoot your shot, do not teach. If you teach anywhere in that interaction, anywhere in that conversation, most likely you're not going to get the sale. But if like you send somebody to your group and let's say you did a live and you actually taught something, that's okay. Like that's not quite the same thing. A lot of times that's actually really good. You're giving value up front, but you're giving that from like your YouTube video, from your live, from your post that you made on your wall. You can actually give value there. You can teach the what and the why. And you can even go, like I've done it where I literally was teaching the hows in my Facebook group lives, and people would like reach out to me like, "Oh wow, that was amazing." That like when you told, like it really made things click for me when you said this. But the second that they reached out to me, I'm not in teaching mode now. It's like whatever you got out of that video, that's what you got. But when you reached out to me, guess where you're at now? I'm walking you through these steps, and I'm going to dodge answering the hows in this conversation because I know if I go into the hows when I'm trying to sell them, essentially like they're just not going to buy. I would be shooting myself in the foot.
Got it. That makes sense. Thanks.
Okay, no problem. Anybody else have any questions?
Hi, Tiger, Winston here.
Hey, Winston.
Hey, I have a question. Is that when we going through the messenger bot and chat with the prospect, what happens? What should we do if in that? Let's say they are talking about the pain and then they start asking question to us, like asking us, hey, what is this high ticket? How much is the price? How much will I earn, etc. Do we answer them or we just ignore them and stick to the question?
So if I understand you correctly, you're asking when you're getting people into this first initial conversations, like you're meeting people and you're kind of walking them through the sales script cold, and they immediately start asking the price. What do you do, or what do you say?
No. It's when in the middle of the conversation. So in the middle of the conversation.
Okay, I didn't understand. I heard like a little one kind of
Okay.
rounded out.
Yeah. So I was saying, if let's say in the middle of the conversation, let's say we are talking about the pain, when they are talking about the pain, and then after that they started to ask us questions about what we have, like how much is the price? Is this
Okay.
this program? Yeah. So in the middle of the conversation.
I see. So you're walking them through the sales script for the sale, and somewhere before the positioning of the offer, they're asking already for the money, or asking how much it costs.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
and also asking more detail about what you have, what you have to offer without really going through the whole process, like the pain and then the pleasure and then what you can get.
Right.
Like, how should we handle? Should we like answer them or should we just ignore them and stick to the flow?
Okay, that's a good question. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So this is what, can you mute your mic? I think your okay. So this is what I do whenever I run across stuff like that. Number one, I should have mentioned this in the beginning. I'll break this up into two different parts. So when I'm on the phone, the first thing I do in the beginning of the conversation is this. This is my little script. Pretty much every time I get on the phone. Sorry, I'm gonna shut this door. So the first thing I do when I get someone like on a phone call is I'll say, hey, so and so, how's it going? I do a few questions of like rapport building. It's always going good. It's got off work, man. I love your post. I saw the other day and yada, yada, yada. It's like, okay, well, that's awesome, man. Hey, we can jump straight into the call if you like. And most people are going to say, okay, cool. And then the next thing I want to do, you want to take the alpha stance right away. There's always a beta and an alpha in pretty much any conversation, any kind of interaction, like somebody that's going to end up taking the lead or leading or guiding the conversation, influencing it more than the other. So what you want to do in order to be able to position yourself and get the sale, you want to immediately take control of the call. You want to say, all right, so this is how the call is going to go. I'm going to pretty much be asking you a series of questions. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to understand you and your business and what it is that you're trying to do better, so that I know how to, number one, help you, and I'll know whether or not you're a good fit for what it is that I do. Is that okay with you? And most people are going to say yes. And the ones that don't, the ones that still insist, like, well, I just want to know like how to do Facebook ads, or I just want to know how much it costs. Again, you would just simply stress like, well, this is how the call, is going to go. I'm going to be asking you some questions, to understand you and your business better, to see if you're a good fit. And if you are, at that time, I'll extend the opportunity for you to be able to, join or take advantage of what it is that I do. And I'll tell you more about it and the price at that time. But there's really no point in me discussing the price right now if you're not a good fit for it. So I really just want to help you, kind of in that way. And anytime after that, if they still insist, I end the call. Because if they are refusing to allow you to take the lead, especially if you're doing coaching or mentorship or anything like that, even if they did buy, it's going to be a nightmare like customer, because you're not going to be able to lead them. They're not going to be coachable. They're going to literally be trying to jerk you around and like tell you like, all right, this is what you're going to do. This is what you're going to teach me. This is when you're going to do it. And it's like, it's not worth the money. Of course you want to make the sale, but it's like, is that $1,000 worth your peace and sanity and things like that? So pretty much like, and you already know that pretty much if you don't have the alpha stance and you're not leading the conversation, you're not taking control of it, you're most likely you're not going to get the sale anyway. So pretty much if they keep pushing for answers and they want to be the one asking the questions, even though you told them you're going to be the one asking the questions, then it's kind of like, well, I think I misled you, because that's not how these calls go. So I'm just going to go ahead and end the call now, because I don't think we're a good fit. And either that person's going to back down right then and be like, oh, no, I'm sorry, man, I'm sorry. Or they're going to be like, okay. And it's like, okay, you didn't lose anything, because most likely you're not going to make that sale anyway. In Messenger, so this is the second part. In Messenger, I don't do that script that I just told you up front. And there's more to the script after that. If you guys want to hear that part, that next section before I actually get into the question, and let me know after this, and I'll cover that too. But in Messenger, if people start asking me about the price like prematurely, Zach also brought up like a really good way to do this as well. It's kind of like, well, how does the price like help you, or how much money I made help you? Like some people are asking, how much money have you made? How much does this cost? And it's like, we can get to the price of this, later. But what I really want to do up front is actually understand, where you are in your business and where you actually need help, because it doesn't matter how much this course costs or how much this thing costs if it's not even a good fit. So, what I want to do is find out more about your business and what's going on, and first see if I can even help you. So let's talk about that first. And if they don't agree to that, again, I end the conversation, because it's like this person is not going to go anywhere. So does that answer your question?
Yes. Thank you very much.
Okay, awesome. Anybody else have any?
Sorry.
Hey,
Can
you okay, you made it.
Okay, I also have a question because of the price, because I was in a situation and I wanted to grade up the course, and I had no clue what was price, and so I had not that much, and I just wanted to know it before, because I didn't want to waste the time from Zach or from you or from Guy. Understand what I mean? So yeah, what do you think of this? Sorry, my internet is a little bit bad. Did you understand well?
I don't know if I quite understand the question. You were kind of saying like if the person didn't have the full amount, or could you kind of explain a little bit, or ask?
Yeah, I think sometimes maybe I was in this situation because I have savings that I can spend in my investment for my courses, but I don't have the money. For example, I don't have $10,000 at the to
Right.
to spend. But that's the reason why sometimes it's better to know roundabout the price. You know what I mean. So
Right.
it makes some a little bit more. Yeah, I don't know, comfortable.
Right. Right. So if I understand you correctly, you're asking, is it ever okay to reveal the price early if the person's saying they just want to know what it is so they don't waste your time? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, for me, for example, for me, it was important to do it before I ever jump on a call with Zach or with Guy, for example, because I wanted to know it before, because I didn't want to waste time or something like that. So I
Right.
felt that's the reason why I asked you. And you didn't know it exactly. You told me around about. So I
Right.
said, okay, that's okay for me. So the
Okay.
price is around this and this, and not that high
Gotcha.
that I thought. So I continued with this. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. So to answer your question, so you're taking a risk. Like I did that with you because number one, like you may not have realized it, but we already went through a lot of these steps already, and you already expressed that you're in. You're pretty much already was like, yes, I'm sold, but you want to know the price so that you can. So it was like you literally already went through all of the steps, and you weren't really actually premature. We talked about your, if you remember, I don't know, because sometimes being on the other end of this process, you don't really know what's happening. It happens to all of us. Like Zach, whenever I bought from Zach, I went through the same thing. I didn't even know. Like I didn't even know what I bought. Like I had to ask him afterwards, what did I just buy, Zach? Like, can you tell me like everything that was in that? So I don't even know. But this is the thing. Like once you've kind of understood what the person has going on, I understood where you were. Remember we talked. I found out you were number one, where you were living. I checked out your profile. I did a little bit of research behind you. I got to know you. I found out how you got introduced into the course. I found out how you got into ClickFunnels. I found out how you got into Top Earner Mentor, how you got grandfathered into Secret Affiliate Marketing Hacks. I found out what it required for you to be an affiliate, since you needed to submit an extra form. These were strategic timings and things. So our sales script took place over the course of a few weeks, maybe at least a week or two. But this is finding out the current state of your business. And then what was your pain? We discussed that. You might not have remembered it or realized it. We went through that and we had a little back and forth. It's like a relationship building, and you don't do these steps where they're so obvious. It feels like a conversation, because you're literally building a relationship while helping the person and selling them. This is how you should develop it so that it's very smooth. And then, once we future pace, I don't know if you remember me asking you like, how much did you want to make? And then we had already discussed how much you're making now and what it would take to walk away from your job, to visit, you wanted to get on a flight, you remember, and visit your dad, for his birthday. And, I was asking you like, how much would you want to make per month to be able to do that lifestyle? And you discussed that with me. And that was the future pacing. Good. Right. I was future pacing you there. And then after that, I drove them apart. I was asking you, like, why can't you do this on your own? And that's when you were saying like, I need help. I need a mentor. And that's when I positioned Zach's mentorship, Zach's coaching versus my own. I added my own in there as well. But, I get a commission for that. Obviously, my coaching is, you guys already know, but it's $2,000. So I received $2,000. So for me, my coaching fee is covered. So when you ask the price, it was already time for you to ask the price. Like I didn't have to ask you to ask me the price, because I went through all the steps. That was the next logical thing for you to ask me. So when you did do that,
that's good. Yeah, right. I wanted to know Sorry.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
it's a great question. And the reason I did share it and I didn't share the exact amount is because if you tell someone the price before you do the pitch, which you were going to, this wasn't for my coaching purely, you were going to talk to Zach. So Zach was going to do his own pitching. So if I revealed an exact price, I would literally take all the power away from his close. And you might have not spent the money. You might not have invested in yourself. You might not have actually, done that. So to help you out, because I know you wanted to know the roundabouts and still not screwed Zach over, I had to give you like a roundabout so you see about what it is to see if it matched what you were willing to do. And then once it was, whenever you went over, because I had done all of these steps, it all went, obviously it went successfully. You're here. It's the transformation is happening. So I would suggest the same thing. As much as you would still want them to have that solved for them, like just to kind of like let me know so I don't waste my time, try to stay as true to these steps. These steps are tried and true. This isn't like something I just came up with or Zach came up with. This is like age old. This is the process that has been proven out to be able to sell anything. So if you walk people through these, this is how you get them to understand the value, understand their current situation, understand what they really want, and then cause them to desire it enough. It causes them to value what you're selling, the dream that they want, more than the money in their pocket. Because if I value my money more than what you have, I'm not going to give you my money. But if I value what you have more than the money in my pocket, I'm going to give you my money and I'm going to thank you because I feel like this is a steal because what you have is worth way more than the money I have in my hand. And in this case, since I told you, you have to be ethical, I knew that that's the case. The money that you're investing, you're going to be able to make, as long as you do the work, you're going to be able to make how many times, 100 times more than what you invested in this. And you're going to be a lot more motivated to put in the work and get the results because you invested. So it's a win-win. I get paid for my time. I get to serve you through coaching, help you get the results. And then you get to have the lifestyle that, we discussed, that we mapped out, that you mapped out, that, you're working towards. And that's the beauty of what we're doing here. Does that make sense or answer your question? Hello? Mo? Can you guys all still hear me?
Hello, I'm back. Sorry, it broke down.
Okay. I hope you didn't miss the whole answer.
I didn't understand the whole answer, but a good one. Hello?
Okay. You know what we can do? We can talk in Boxer after this, and I'll answer
All right,
that for
thank
you
you.
again.
All right. I missed out maybe 20 seconds or something like this.
Okay, yeah. Well, we'll talk in Boxer that way. Because I think everyone else, you guys can still hear me, right? Anybody else can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I think they heard the answer. So what I'll do is I'll answer it for you. So they don't have to go through the same answer again. We'll just talk privately about it, so that we can make sure that you have what you need. Is that okay? Uh-oh, I think you're going again.
For me, yes.
Okay, awesome. All right, does anybody else have any questions? No? All right, well, I don't hear anybody. I hope you guys can hear me. It's a little bit different in Facebook Live. I can't see anything active. So if you guys don't have any questions, I'm going to go ahead and end this call. Did you guys get value from today's call? Is this this fits you guys' needs well?
Yes.
Okay,
for me, yes.
Awesome.
Thank
Okay.
you so much.
Yes, Tiger was awesome.
Okay,
Thank
awesome.
you.
All right, you guys. Hey, so I have to wait and post next week. so we can go ahead and get the topic for our next coaching call. See what you guys would.
Thanks, Tiger.
You're welcome, Bobby.
I made it.
Awesome. Yeah, you're still at work?
No, Dan, I'm on the road now.
Okay. All right, you guys. Take care. It was amazing talking with you, and I look forward to our next call. Go out, you guys. Go out. Practice these things. I'm telling you, this will make you money. Like literally, you can start going out making money today. Like today. That's how serious this is. And if you get, like I told you, if you don't already have the one-on-one coaching with me where we can practice in a role play, find a partner either in this group or somewhere else or whatever that you can role play these things with. There is a sales script inside of the course that you can print out. And there's a whole video inside of there as well that Zach breaks down a lot of this stuff. It's called Social Media Selling. And there's a video and a script in there. It's in chapter 4, I believe. And just practice this. Practice it over. Like if you don't do anything else out of the course, learn this like the back of your hand. Practice it over and over and over and over. Like even if you don't have a funnel, even if you don't have a Facebook group, I'm not telling you not to have a funnel. I'm not telling you not to have a Facebook group. I'm not telling you not to have an email list or whatever. But even if you didn't have anything else, if you just master this and just go out and do it, even from just your personal Facebook profile, you're going to make money. That's how powerful this thing is. So keep that in mind. Take action on it. Don't just be a consumer, be a doer. Go out and put this into practice. I want to hear you guys' success stories putting this into practice. This is literally what I do. As you can see, like from Mona's question, like this is literally what I do. And it doesn't matter if I'm selling a $5,000 thing or a $1,000 thing or my $2,000 coaching, or I'm selling people my group, whatever it is. This stuff works. So, all right, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this call, and I'll see you in the next one.